you are comfortable. Check whether the mic works.
It's correct.
It's working, eh?
Yeah.
Thank you. So welcome to this committee. This is Committee on Appointments. I am the chair, the speaker, and I have my members here. I'll let them introduce themselves right from that end. Honorable Majority.
I'm Bosuben, member of this committee.
My name is Roslyn Chepto, member of County Assembly representing Rongen Manaret Ward and member to this appointment committee.
I'm Honorable Stephen Chang Morik, member of County Assembly Longisa Ward and a member to this committee.
My name is Eric Kirui, MCA Kimulat Ward, a member of this committee.
My name is Leonard Rotich, MCA representing GSO Ward and member to this committee.
So thank you very much. Here with us, I have a team of staff, Hansard team, and my committee. Here we have Wakili Ken. On this end, we have another Wakili again. I'm protected here. Calvin, Vero on the other end, Rashid on that end, and Betty, the other gentleman, Titus, and so many other officers who are here.
Okay.
So you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I know you applied for this position of member of County Public Service Board.
Yes, Chairman.
And you are Dr. Honorable Cecilia Ngetich.
Yes, Chairman.
Could you tell this committee about yourself briefly?
Thank you, Chairman and panel members. My name is Honorable Dr. Cecilia Ngetich.
And before that, just a minute. You know you are going to tell us a lot about yourself, so we want to know that you are going to tell us the truth and only the truth. So you'll take some oath before we proceed.
Thank you, sir. I, Honorable Cecilia Chelangat Ngetich, do swear that the information that I am going to give before this committee on the matter under its consideration is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Then I'll ask you humbly to hand over your documents, original documents, to Ken there. ID. Okay, so before I disrupted you, you were telling us about yourself. In a minute or so.
Thank you, Chairman and panel members. My name is Honorable Dr. Cecilia Chelangat Ngetich, a resident of Bomet County, coming from Sotik Sub-County. I am an educationist, a teacher by profession, having worked for 27 years and I have an honorary doctorate from the Technical University of Kenya, a master's in business administration, and Bachelor of Education Science from Kenyatta University. I have also served as the first woman rep of Bomet County in the National Assembly. I'm also a mediator, certified chartered mediator, a motivator, and a governance expert. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Now that you have applied and we are now at the vetting stage, would you tell this committee the steps which are there when appointing a member of County Public Service Board?
Thank you, Chairman and panel members. First of all, the existence of the County Public Service Board is as per the provisions of the 2010 Constitution, Article 235, and also read together with the one of the County Government Acts, Section 56, where it is supposed to establish in each county Public Service Board. So at the county level, the governor appoints a panel that comprises of 5 persons, the chair, who is supposed to be well versed with the public service, and an accountant, hopefully at senior level, a legal person, and a person representing the unions or workers, and a member who is coming in private capacity. So there are 5 appointed by the governor, but they have to go through the county assembly for approval. Yeah. So once the panel is approved, they then advertise the position, they do the shortlisting, the interview, and forward names of, a number of names. For example, for one position, they can forward 4 names, and to the governor, who will pick from that list the members that will then forward to the assembly for vetting. So that's maybe why I'm here, because I applied, I was interviewed, and my name was among those forwarded to the governor, and I found myself also having been forwarded to the assembly for vetting.
Thank you. So thank you very much for that. I'll now allow my other members to ask you questions. But before that, I want to recognize the presence of Vincent Ngeno at the Public Gallery, Julius Quech, Leonard Kirui, Rebecca Kirui. Thank you. While at the Public Gallery, you are expected to maintain silence, do not make phone calls or take photos. You are expected to behave with decorum while at the gallery. Otherwise, on behalf of this assembly, I welcome you. Thank you very much. Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Chair. Dr. welcome.
Thank you.
I'll ask you 2 questions. One is, can you explain to this committee the roles of the Public Service Board, of the County Public Service Board? That is number 1. Number 2, what position will you take to actualize these roles of the County Public Service Board?
Thank you very much. Through the chairman, the roles of the County Public Service Board, one is to create or abolish an office, public service office within the county, and it does so through a process whereby if the chief officer so finds it good that a certain office has to be created, they write forwarded to the County Public Service Board, and it has to be approved by the County Assembly. Secondly, it then appoints members to serve in various offices within the county, either in acting capacity or contract, and they can equally, they exercise disciplinary control over those members following the procedures that are provided for under the human resource practices. One in particular, that one must be given a hearing before being fired, and they are responsible for promoting the adherence of the values, the national values, Article 10, and also the public service values, which are in Article 232. So they have to put in a way, a procedure in which sometimes even going to the offices to ensure that these national values and principles are upheld. They also, the role of the County Public Service Board is also to advise the SRC on remunerations, particularly pensions paid to its county staff. And it also writes reports of what they have done for the whole year and give it to the Assembly. And also it advises the county government generally on human resource matters at the county. Now, as a member of the County Public Service Board, mine is to work as a team, professionally, fairly, transparently, in ensuring that the county will have the right human resource for the betterment of the county. So the position, and of course, the main factor is if there is any recruitment, we follow the procedures that are there. If there are any promotions, also procedures have to be put there. And also performance, because it is good to monitor performance of the staff at the county. So I believe that having this wide experience in my past experiences, I can bring in a wealth of experience to ensure that the staff, county public service staff, do perform their roles to their expected capacity.
Thank you. Last question. What is the rationale for the establishment of the County Public Service Board? The rationale for the establishment?
Through the chairman, the rationale of establishing the County Public Service Board is to ensure, for example, uniformity of all the standards within all the counties, because this is a recommendation, all the counties, so that there are standards and norms that govern the human resource at the counties. Two, it is also to give opportunity to persons who are to be appointed in the county public service, that opportunity to serve within the county, whereby they are supposed to go through the appointment process where there is transparency, regional balance, gender mainstreaming, and according the various groups that opportunity to serve at the county. So the basis really is to ensure there is that equity and fairness in the appointments of the public service members.
I don't know whether you got his question well.
Oh, sorry.
The rationale, if I got him well, why should, those who actually came up with this constitution, they envisaged that the county must have county public service boards. Why? Why was it not done by the national
Thank you.
Boards.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Chair, for articulating that question. Now, following the 2010 Constitution that inaugurated the county governments, there is that independence of the county government and the national government. So the county government also should undertake its mandate to ensure that they hire their personnel, because at the national they have the Public Service Commission. So I think the rationale was to give counties that power of undertaking their own way of getting the public human resource. I believe that was one of the major rationale. Yeah, and unless others, I may not be so sure.
It's okay. So, Roslyn?
Okay, thank you, Chair. You are most welcome, Dr. Cecilia, and congratulations for your appointment.
Thank you.
I'm aware that there's some qualification needed for one to be a member of County Public Service Board. Maybe you can explain to us the qualification needed for one, or to be able to fully discharge his or her mandate in the Public Service Board.
Thank you, Member, through the Chairman. Yeah, some of the basic qualifications. One, the person has to be a Kenyan citizen and have a minimum of bachelor's degree. And for the purposes of this particular County Public Service Board, an experience of 10 years in similar capacity. The person must also comply with the Chapter 6 of the Constitution, Leadership and Integrity, and also understand human resource practices, because that would be the main function, and also abide by the principles as articulated in Article 10 and 232 of Public Service, such as good governance, transparency, and integrity. So those are the major things. Of course, that among others.
Okay, thank you. I have another question. We have various arms of government. Tell us the relationship of the County Public Service Board and Public Service Board Commission of Kenya, the County Executive, and the County Assembly.
Thank you. The relationship, for example, as I said, the Public Service Commission and the County Public Service Board. Okay, the County Public Service Board undertakes that human resource factor, of what I already explained, its roles, and for the county. For the Public Service Board, they do so for the national government. But they are related in a way because a lot of statutes are borrowed, they also guide. And one role also that the relationship usually, for example, if a member, a public servant is aggrieved, for example, if the person feels like I've not been treated well, they can always petition the Public Service Commission. Now, at the county level, the executive and the county government, the county secretary is the head of public service. So through that link, for example, the county secretary links between the County Public Service Board and the executive. So there is that link because the county secretary is mandated to oversee functions of the County Public Service Board, and they also sit in one of the committees that all the county officers sit, where they bring up their departmental issues. Now, the Assembly does a number of roles, because such as this one, they are responsible for vetting the members of the County Public Service Board and also oversighting the County Public Service Board, especially through the reports that they receive annually or even from time to time. So there is that interconnection. And of course, there is separation of powers, as I said, between the Public Service Commission and the County Public Service Board, though they are interrelated by far, but they are semi-independent. Yeah.
Okay, Honorable Speaker, thank you and welcome, Honorable Cecilia. You spoke earlier about Chapter 6 on leadership and integrity, and I know you're aware also of Article 75 on how the manner in which a public officer needs to behave. Can you tell us around the article what you would do to help you take up your new role if appointed?
Thank you. Through the chairman. Yeah, Chapter 6, which talks about the leadership and integrity, and together with that 75 is to it is that realization that any person in office holds that office in trust. It's not personal, it's not private, so they are just there as public servants, and they are supposed to know that they are offering a service to the public. So the office should not be considered as, hold it, it is, you are holding an office in trust. Then two, there should be transparency and integrity, because everyone has a chance, the human democratic right to be, given that opportunity to work at the county or wherever. So that integrity and transparency and honesty, where you don't favor, whether this is your relative, whether this is your friend, that should not come. That should be that you follow and adhere to the regulations that are there. So be fair to everyone. So I would say that, for example, if there is any challenge that my son has applied or my daughter has applied for a particular position, they individually have that right, but then as a member of the board, to avoid conflict of interest, I'll have to declare conflict of interest, set myself aside, and the process continues. So I'll make sure that I'm being very fair and not where I can have due influence to anyone. So I believe that is exactly what I would do.
Fair enough. Have you, in your past engagement, been dismissed in any office after contravening the provisions of Article 75?
Through the chair, no. I have not been dismissed in any position, or I have not contravened that Article 75.
Okay, fair. Good.
Thank you.
I think I will allow Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Welcome, Cecilia.
Thank you.
Now, there are positions which are emerging internationally. I believe you've heard of the same. What policy decision will you put in place to make sure that the young people of Bomet County benefit from the same positions?
Sir, did you say international?
International opportunities, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Chair, through the chairman. Indeed, when labor, we know very well that our country may not absorb all the labor that are within. And therefore, it is good when there are opportunities that are offered outside. However, there must be a policy and a legislation, because we have seen cases before where people go on their own or through agents who are not guided by any policy or any law, and then the persons who are sent there end up suffering, others are killed, and others are jailed. So I would, if legislation allows for counties, because at the moment counties also have to go maybe with the approval of the national. When it comes to international, you may not do it directly, but you can propose a legislation, and hopefully maybe in agreement if the SRC or the national government would approve, put in a legislation where you vet various agents who may be interested in linking the employees to outside. But there must be proper policy and legislation, and intergovernment, to know exactly what they are going to do, where they are going, and what their securities are. So I want to believe that without policy and legislation, I would not allow maybe members to just take a flight and say they are going to work outside, because they would be risking their life.
Okay, thank you. Again, Cecilia, if you would be nominated to this position, are there family members or any other person who may present a kind of conflict of interest?
Chairman, yeah, definitely. Africans, we have extended families. So while I would say that personally, mine is definitely no, because all my children, personal, my nuclear family are all somewhere. But definitely in African society, there are those family members. So they can, of course, African way, they'll come saying, let's go. In fact, they might not even come to the office. They might even come to my home saying that I want my son to be employed. But there are regulations. And secondly, I don't make the decisions alone. This is a board, and guided by the law, regulations, and principles. So, as I said earlier, if there is someone that I really know this is a relative, I will declare conflict of interest, and they follow through the process.
Okay. Now, again, kindly explain the procedure you will use to resolve such potential conflict of interest, including any legal provision that will guide your decision.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think normally you do conflict, you write, and I've seen the practice elsewhere, is that at the start of any meeting, in fact, normally not necessarily even during recruitment, there's a book that is maintained where every member has to sign. So I think what would legally bind is to really put down in writing and stating the reason why you are declaring that conflict of interest. So that should there be audit of the process, then there'll be evidence that indeed this person declared and excused himself or herself as in that manner.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Changmori.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chair, Speaker. Welcome, Honorable Cecilia.
Thank you.
Chapter 2, Article 10(1) of the Constitution of Kenya describes the national values and principles of governance that shall bind all state organs, state officers and public officers, and all persons. As a member of County Public Service Board, you hear that the County Assembly is in a process of passing a motion that only people from Bomet will be employed in slated recruitment in the county. Otherwise, the County Assembly, based on the provisions in Chapter 2, Article 10 of the Constitution, 10(1) of the Constitution, on why it should adhere to the following values: patriotism and national unity, justice, number 2, social justice, inclusiveness and non-discrimination, and protections of the marginalized. So we have two things there, that is the national unity, social justice, and inclusiveness. You can explain on this.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, the national values that allows for national unity, patriotism, dignity, inclusiveness. So I want to believe that at any time the Assembly wants to pass a law or an act, there is public participation. So first of all, I believe they'll receive comments, and they won't miss maybe one or two who will point out the same. And also, as in charge of the, let's say if I am nominated, being a member of the County Public Service Board, we are also guided by the national values. And in fact, it allows for gender mainstreaming, inclusivity of the persons with disability according to the law, because they are supposed to be 5%. And in fact, the article also recommends that 30% should be members who are not from the main dominant community there, so that it allows for that outlook of national unity. So it means that if there are people working within the county and they are from other counties, it is good to give them that opportunity so that we meet that national value, the unity where we include everybody. But of course, I believe they should be also be part and parcel of the community. So I would maybe put it in, we would sit as a board, minute it, and write to the Assembly as a memoranda to advise them that this law you are making may go against this clause, because we have to include members of other communities as per that national values and national unity.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Chair. Okay. Again, Dr. Cecilia, describe what you've done by way of pro bono, listing specific instances where you've participated, the amount contributed, and the amount of time you've devoted to each of the pro bono activities.
Thank you, Chairman. A member. As a leader and all my life, I've always participated in pro bono activities, some for which I may not say that I can necessarily account for them now. For example, while I was teaching, and even I would assist quite a number of the students from very humble background, even mobilizing. I remember a case, of course I would not want to mention names here, but I remember a case when I was in Kaplong Girls. I and friends did raise funds for two girls and many other orphans to go through education. So I may not quantify really how much that is. I would only mention maybe a recent case. So I want to say that I've assisted quite a number of orphans and children from very humble backgrounds go through education and empowering them. And sometimes pro bono may not necessarily be in cash, maybe just representation or networking, putting in a word for a particular person to be assisted. But I want to mention a recent case last year, December, on 17th. Well, I decided as a Christian, I'm a member of the Roman Catholic Church, and I decided that I need to do something to thank God for what He has done for me. And I, through the advice of the parish priest, he suggested that we put up a chapel at Sotik Parish. So I initiated it myself. I carried it as a family project and raised through my own friends 700,000, and later on through my own pocket about 300,000 for the church. So a total of 1 million. I would say as one case that I remember as being most recent, among others which I may not quantify. So I would only want to give that as